Bismillah. Again, Assalamualaikum, and let us begin with Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Berdoa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alaihi wa ala alihi. اللهم افتح علينا فتوح العارفين وارزقنا فهم النبيين وحفظ المرسلين وإلهام الملائكة المقربين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Okay, Amin. Now, it's just a quick one for record purposes. So you guys boleh, I think even from where you are, you can record your attendance here. Boleh nampak tak ada QR code? Alright, thank you, Dean. Oops, sorry. Let's take 1 or 2 minutes for the attendance and then kita masuk some practices on your topic risk. Okay, I hope everyone is done with your USCAM attendance ni. Kalau tak dapat nanti tanyalah, nanti let me know in the group kan. I boleh actually verify you. In fact, Zoom will allow me to have your name lah kan. Cuma I tak nak buat dua kerja. If you did this already, then it's already in the system lah dalam USCAM tu kan. Okay. Is everyone okay? Shall we start now? Boleh Okay, that's good. Thank you, Jap. Thank you, Safwan. Again, at any time when you cannot hear me, just let me know lah. Okay. So, as you know, today we are going to proceed with our discussion on the syllabus area called risiko kan. We covered actually 2 chapters if you refer to the to the study hub. Okay, if you refer to study hub, there are 2 chapters from the study hub lah. Kaplan pun I think there are at least 2 chapters. So the purpose of the meeting today guys, ni petang kan, some of you ada kelas pagi tadi. So and then hari ni hari Jumaat, you may be in the mood of enjoying your Chinese New Year holiday semua kan, but I still hope that this is a less than an hour class. So give your every effort and focus, because I think there are many important things today to discuss regarding risk. After all, this is not just a class, this is a practice on what we have covered. So I think you would appreciate more what we discussed today, because it deepens your understanding not only on the topic area but also on how SBL question will be asked. Maksudnya you want to apply the theory that you learn in the class, because penting tak belajar theory, penting lah. Tak ada theory, tak ada apa-apa in the first place kan. But only knowing the theory is not sufficient to pass. In other words, orang yang just regurgitate, dia muntahkan je theory dalam exam, I'm not going to say that you don't get many marks, rather you will get no marks, because theory is just theory. Is it important? Yes, it is important for you to apply it in the exam. Yang tu message pertama petang Jumaat yang I nak you guys tangkap lah. Okay. Okay, Jet, thank you. Sure. That's good. Nanti remind me again ataupun no, Jet, let me do it now lah. Sorry, I pergi. Kenapa lah pergi padam? Okay, let me do that quickly because I have to be fair to you. I dah pergi padam tadi. I hope dia tak kena login balik. Sekejap Yeah. So, sekejap You guys can see my screen, right? Can I confirm that? Because we will have to use the screen. Yes?
Boleh.
Boleh? Okay, good. Thank you.
Boleh.
Boleh kan? Okay, so siapa lagi yang ada dalam ni yang I have not verified your name? Let me know tau. So, Jeb, nama Jeb adalah is Hafri. Okay. Ada lagi tak yang lain? Boleh. Okay, good. Alright. Okay. So, kata apa tadi? Kita nak belajar to apply the theory that we learn in SBL classes lah. Okay. Having said that, what I have done, I have gone through all the questions that we have in Kaplan lah. Kan? Tapi bukanlah semua tu. Sekejap, ada orang nak tanya soalan ke? Tak ada kan?
Atira yang tak verify lagi.
Okay, sure. Okay, sekejap Atira. Okay, sure. Boleh, ada lagi? Anyone else? Tak ada dah Okay, betul
Question dulu.
Siapa tu? Tak ada Okay. Tapi I tinggalkan macam ni lah. Boleh Okay. Now, let me give you again a very the very plan for today. Kita akan attempt satu soalan dalam Kaplan tu, and then I will give you at least one or two questions, okay, as a homework which we will discuss or have a look next week lah on Tuesday, together with the introduction to a new area which is called technology and data analytics. That's going to be very interesting. Many of the terms may be new to you, me too, likewise, tapi we are going to learn about that. So today kita akan tengok dulu lah one question. Cuma from what I have done when I went through all the questions dekat Kaplan, cuma bila kata all tu, I tengok requirement lah. I tak baca semua benda, the scenario sekali tu banyak. I tak sempat nak buat lah. That's my bad lah kan. Cuma I nak kata, I want you to focus first with something in mind. What is that something in mind? That something in mind is that Kaplan does not give you exhaustive list of questions or let's say subtopics dalam risk. In other words, penting tak you go through all the questions dalam Kaplan? Jawapannya penting. Tetapi adakah itu sahaja yang kemungkinan keluar dalam final exam? Tak. So again, it's a good starting point, tapi it is not exhaustive. Exhaustive ni kalau I AJ kat sini kan, some of us mungkin tak biasa dengan perkataan tu. Exhaustive ni maknanya kalau I kata okay, for you to pass SBL, I bagi you 10 tips. And this is not exhaustive. Apa maksud not exhaustive? Exhaustive maknanya kalau 10 tu 10 je lah. Tak ada yang ke-11 dah. So biasanya kalau kita buat senarai, kita akan kata this is not exhaustive. Maknanya tak habis. 10 tu sekadar mungkin yang utama. Mungkin ada yang ke-11. So dia tak exhaustive lah. Kalau exhaustive maknanya you listkan semua sekali. So sama juga, the questions that you have in Kaplan, the list is not exhaustive. Tetapi it's a good starting point. In fact, it covers a lot of things dalam topik area risk. So what I have done when I went through the questions, I extract the subtopic under risk. So ini yang I nak you guys focus and bear with me. Tujuan dia apa guys? Supaya kita belajar ni kan. Number one, you wanna get the introduction to something, right? And then you wanna memorize some key terms. Ini cara belajar guys again. And then listen to this carefully. You have to find out something called knowledge gap. Kan ada beritahu kan ada orang dia tak tahu dan dia tak tahu yang dia tak tahu. And that is something yang memang tak boleh buat apa. Yang memang very troublesome. Tetapi ada orang yang dia tak tahu tetapi dia tahu apa yang dia tak tahu. So when I read this, so alamak tak tahu apa itu strategic risk contoh kan. You tak tahu strategi risk tapi you tak tahu tapi you tahu, you know that you do not know about strategic risk. So knowing your ignorance, knowing what you do not know will lead you to learn about it. Boleh ini teknik belajar ni. You boleh apply dalam subjek atau topik lain or even anything in life. Okay, so laju-laju. Tengok tau, I want you guys to focus on the key terms. Okay, so we have covered risk although very quickly and we'll come back to that deeper during revision phase. I hope you always have that in mind. Takut nanti some of you macam alamak, sir selalu ajar at surface level lah kan. And if you said that, that's true lah. Sebab memang itu pun kita punya objektif for the first part of the semester. Okay. So I kata identify, evaluate and alleviate risk. Lagi satu monitor kan. Benda ni kita dah tahu lah, kita dah cover dalam kelas. Cuma one thing I wanna I want you guys to take note here. You dah belajar satu perkataan baru. Kita guna perkataan reduce, minimize. You also have the word mitigate and also alleviate. Kan dia kata, okay, you ada homework biar I tolong lah. So I alleviate your burden. I ringankan beban you kan. So this is in terms of glossary lah in terms of pembedaharan kata vocab, dia panggil vocab, alleviate Categorize, ini pun penting. Yang ni kita akan buat latihan today on BTS company. Memang on categorization of risk. It is not easy. It is not as simple as it may sound. So kita tengok which means strategy and operational. And I want to demand for your attention. If you remember, we talk about ERM, entrepreneur risk management approach, and you know you have something called COSO, Q, or sekarang COSO Helix lah, kan? Apa benda perkataan yang I guna hari tu? Comprehensive. Bahasa Melayu dia menyeluruh. Or another word, holistic lah. It covers everything. In other words, I nak you guys faham, when it comes to SBL or even in real life, when you talk about risk, you have to consider a holistic approach. What do you mean by that? You cannot focus on just one area or one department or one type of risk. You have to consider all the risk. Itu masuk holistic approach. At all levels, at all hierarchical level dan sebagainya. Itu you kena ambil sebab you boleh guna perkataan tu dalam exam guys. Contoh kan, dia ada soalan on risk management kan. So dia kata, therefore the board of directors must consider every levels of organisation, every different departments, because this is a holistic approach. This is the best approach when it comes to risk management. You boleh guna perkataan tu. So dia bukan saja ni. I kan dah bagi tahu, dengar betul-betul whatever that you learn in class, memang first stepnya untuk faham. And then kena hafal lah. Ataupun hafal dan faham, tapi you kena tahu how do you communicate what you understand in the exam. Kalau you just tahu tapi you tak pandai nak cakap, nak tulis dalam exam, then you will be in trouble. So you kena buat latihan semua tu dan kena buat revision. Sempat ni 3.5 kan, kita ada sekejap ni. Okay. Establish risk management. Okay, ini nanti kita akan go back to that. And a hindrance to objective. I really hope guys, please remember when we try to define risk, kan ingat tak you ada perkataan danger, perkataan harm, perkataan possible problem and what not lah kan. But don't forget that when it comes to, let's say, business, risk means something that hinders, okay, something that prevents you to achieve your objective, your strategy to achieve your mission and so on. Sebab tu dia jadi risk. Sebab ada benda yang you nak capai tapi you tak dapat benda tu kan. Contohnya risk of not passing the exam. So your objective adalah you nak pass exam lah. Kan? So kalau ada kebarangkalian that you cannot score 50 and above, then itu namanya risiko. Kan? And then risk related to investment. So bila yang kita buat acquisition contohnya, it is an action, it is a decision making. Apa yang menyebabkan acquisition tu is not a good thing or it doesn't work? Apa yang menyebabkan itu semua tu adalah risk. Okay, and then evaluation, I told you kan, at least yang paling mudah apa guys, remember these two things, dipanggil likelihood or probability. Okay, bila kita evaluate ni datang daripada perkataan value kan, you put value to the risk. Once you have identified, you also attach to the risk apa dia punya likelihood, memang confirm ke atau sangat besar kemungkinan dia berlaku ke ataupun tak. And then when it happens, what are the impact? And the impact, is it very light, very low, ataupun very significant, contoh. Okay, and then the rest ni identifying risk ni, FPE ni finance, political, economical, environmental and so on. Ini pun penting. You perasan tak ada perkataan yang sama kat sini, ongoing dengan continuous. So ini pun antara aspek of the syllabus yang you kena faham. So mungkin contoh-contoh kan, ada soalan, tolong ambil yang ni, ada soalan yang mungkin you kena criticize certain opinions dalam exam. SBL is about you being in real life scenario and then you can handle some task. One way or one aspect of handling the task is when you are presented with an opinion by someone lah kan, director ke apa ke, dan you kena criticize ataupun you kena evaluate the opinion. Salah satu opinion tu adalah kita buat risk assessment ni sekali je, lepas tu cukup. So biasanya akan ada argument apa dia? That the environment changes. Kan, environment ni maknanya luaran lah, you guys faham kan? Environment tu bukan specific flora fauna, I think you understand that. So when things change, you have to continuously assess the changes and therefore your dipanggil apa kalau dalam audit tu dipanggil apa, anyone do you remember? You have to put some measures, dipanggil apa istilah dia? I tak ingat. When you know there is a risk, you have to put something in place. But siapa-siapa ingat ada dia punya term, I tak ingat. Cuma the idea is that should the risk assessment be done once, one off, or should it be continuously done? And the rest lah. Okay, ada juga a few more things. Nanti kita masuk soalan. Okay, Tara semua orang tahulah kan. And then you ada related risk dengan unrelated risk. Ada juga soalan on this. Ini dia macam statistik sikit. Okay, you ada term yang daripada subjek statistik. I told you that knowledge is integrated. You should consider different terms, different concepts from different field or disciplines. Contohnya statistik lah. So related dengan unrelated ni, dia ada something called cause and effect relationship, and there is also something else called correlation. Ada someone said something? Not really my idea. Performance materiality tu maksudnya ialah materiality kan, whether it's significant or not kan. If I understand it correctly lah, dipanggil macam preventive measures. You put Allahumma salli. You put, saya tak ingat apa kata ni. Nanti kalau ingat saya beritahu. Auditor's response, that's good. It doesn't appear to my mind. My apologies. Kalau dia datang nanti, saya beritahu. Kalau saya sebut perkataan mesti you will be like, takut you confirm pernah dengar punya. Okay. Anyway, I nak kata nanti kena, tadi kata apa? Identify the knowledge gap. Tak pernah dengar related dengan unrelated risk. Maknanya tak pernah dengar tu, lepas ni pernah dengar. Sebab dia keluar dalam exam. And ada something called embedding risk. Kan? And also, kita dah belajar tentang culture before. You have to know the relationship between risk and culture. Culture ni again lah, maksudnya when you want to deal with risk, dia kena ada dalam budaya organisasi tu. Bukannya benda formal je, dia macam orang kata it runs in your blood lah. Kan? Memang kita ni hidup dengan berjaga-jaga terhadap risiko. Macam tu lah, tu maksud dia culture kan. And then risk diversification. That means if you know there is contoh a risk at one place kan, so when you diversify your measures and things like that, then it is called risk diversification. Okay, kan? Macam tu, ini sikit lah bagi you gambaran apa antara key terms, apa antara different subtopik. I kata subtopik sebab dalam satu topik ada banyak subtopik kan. So nak kata banyak pecahan-pecahan lah supaya you tahu what may appear in the exam. Tolong guys, ini I demonstrate to you on one area, on risk. Strategi kita pun tahu dia the longest one, and yang lain pun sama juga. You jangan culture je. Padahal dalam culture tu ada pecah banyak lagi kan. So I hope I am demonstrating to you something that will make you know that you have to study even more than what we cover in the class. Still tak ni dia tak datang to my mind. Okay, let's look at the question. Are you guys ready? So far okay tak? Tak nak habis ni, nanti lagi 10 minit.
Sir,
yes, silakan.
yang saya cakap measures tu, is it preventive and corrective measures, detection measures tu ke?
That's good, that's correct. But I'm looking for a very precise term for that, which I am still trying to recall what's the name. Once you know there is a risk of something, then you will prepare something to just in case that risk materialize. Apa yang you letak tu orang panggil tu, I tak ingat. Betul lah, preventive and things like that, kan, auditor's response and so on. What do you put to mitigate the risk? I tak ingat term dia. Tak apa, nanti kalau ingat I share dalam group je lah.
Safeguard ke sir?
You're right. Thank you, my dear. Betul. That's the word that I was looking for. Safeguard. Betul. Ambil yang tu. Thank you, my dear. Safeguard, safeguard. Itulah perkataan yang saya cari. You dah tahu nanti kalau you buat restoran tepi pantai kan, nanti kalau banjir macam mana? Kalau terkujur macam mana air masuk dalam restoran habis rosakkan, you know, kerusi ke bangunan itself kan. So you kena safeguard lah, letak something ke macam apa dia panggil lah, whatever lah kan, supaya kalau terkujur nanti air tak masuk. Itu namanya safeguard, betul betul. So safeguard ni adalah the way you deal with risk lah. Thank you, my dear. Betul. Thank you, Arina. Thank you someone else tadi yang bagi tahu. Okay, any other question? Okay tak? Boleh continue dengan soalan tak? Kita ada lebih kurang 10 minit lagi. Tak ada eh? Can I continue? Is that okay? Yes? Can you guys hear me clearly anyway? Hello? Boleh? Thank you, thank you. I'll try my best not to rush kan. Kalau tidak, tak best kan? Okay. Alright. So kita terus jump into the question. Nanti your homework is, this is Kaplan So I takut nanti tak sempat dah. YGT. Dengan I nak discuss juga Dubland. But I'll make it a homework jugalah. Kan, tapi kita akan discuss. Tengoklah, we'll try to discuss both lah kan. Dubland, question number 40 and then YGT. Okay, take a note on that lah. Nanti I bagi tahu balik dalam group. Okay, tapi hari ni kita nak tengok dulu BTS company. The reason why I start with this, sebab dia soalan pertama untuk area risk. Yang kedua sebab I think is a good warming up lah untuk you practice on the area called risk. Okay, jom kita masuk Soalan ni pendek je. That's another reason why I chose this Okay, can I hear or can I, okay, you guys dah sebut kan, I nak tanya ready ke tak kan? Kata boleh, yes ni, okay lah. Okay, now let's look at the requirement. Please follow me closely. We are gonna end in about 10 minutes plus je nak habis dah. Requirement. Identify and explain any strategic, tactical and operational risk affecting the BTS company. For each risk, discuss methods of alleviating this risk. Inilah kan, tapi sebenarnya kalau you tak tahu pun perkataan ni, you dah tengok konteks dia, you faham lah. Alleviate ni maknanya reduce lah. And to lighten, mengurangkan the risk tu. To mitigate lah. So you boleh guna perkataan ni, alleviate, mitigate, minimize, reduce, whatever. Cuma tengok. Now, fokus betul-betul. When you are presented with a question like this, confirm dalam exam dia tak akan tanya soalan semudah ni lah kan, dan tak sependek ini. Cuma kita nak practice. Look at the marks. There are 12 marks, right? So automatically you know you can look at the 3 different categories of risk: strategic, tactical, operational. If I were you, I would quickly divide 12 by 3, so you will get 4 marks. Betul tak? So in your mind, you tahu dah 4 marks. I think I kena tulis tengok So you ada 4 marks each. Ada strategic, you ada tactical, you ada operational. Ini cara kita approach the question, right? So each of these, you want to score 4 marks lah. Perfect marks kan? Tapi I dah bagi tahu kan, at least you try to score 3 marks. Okay 3 multiplied by 3, that's 9. Kan? 9 out of 12 is a very comfortable marks to pass kan? Okay, tapi out of 4, you don't stop there. Dia tanya apa? Satu, identify. And then explain. Okay, remember tak dalam kita punya, ni kata tujuan kita belajar teori tu. Selain you identify apa bendanya, the answer to the question what is the risk? Itu identify, kenal pasti. Tapi the risk itself, when you explain, okay lah dalam konteks ni, you boleh kata evaluate lah. Dia punya likelihood atau dia punya impact. Salah satu. Nampak? So you ada identify, you ada evaluate kan. Tapi dia guna perkataan explain lah. Bila you dah evaluate, you tahu value dia, you boleh explain lah. Nampak? Cantiknya teori tu boleh apply dalam soalan. So you dah ada identification, apa risk tu and then risk tu macam mana bahaya ke kalau berlaku dan besar kebarangkalian ke, you faham maksud saya kan. And last kali you ada dah tahu yang tu akan berlaku, you letak safeguard. Method dia, method lah maknanya action lah. Dah tahu ada risk tu, 2 kan at least kan. 1, preventive, how to avoid that risk from materializing. Takut banjir so sebelum banjir berlaku, apa cara nak elakkan banjir berlaku, contoh. Or you ada juga bukan preventive, reactive. Jadi kalau betul berlaku banjir, you kena buat apa? Contohnya, you ada store di tempat yang lebih tinggi, kalau berlaku betul-betul banjir, you boleh alih barang-barang ni dekat tempat tu. So it's before the harm or the problem or the risk materialize and after. So in that sense, saya nak kata apa ni? Kalau I jadi you, for each of these, strategic, tactical, and operational, I akan cuba score 1 mark for identification, another 1 mark for evaluation. We have 10 minutes. And then I will try to score at least 1, if not 2 marks for action. You nampak tak? This is a very beautiful way of approaching the question. When you do that, then you know where to score. Boleh kan situ. So boleh lah kalau tak perlu cari banyak-banyak risk, 3 je lah. Kalau tengok jawapan, dia ada 2 jawapan untuk strategic risk, 2 untuk tactical, 1 untuk operational. Macam tu. Okay? Yes.
So saya nak tanya, kalau
Boleh,
macam tu kita just kena cari strategi satu risk, tactical satu risk, operational satu risk saja ke, and then each of them kita develop untuk jadi identify, evaluate dengan safeguard, macam tu ke?
Yes. The minimum that you can do. So this is
Yes,
yeah, okay, sure. Thank you for asking. So that's the starting point lah, kan? But when you look at the question later, when you read, it is very possible that you find more than one risk. So be careful with time lah. At least you siap satu strategic, satu tactical, satu operational, kan? But let's say you have more time, and actually I think to be safe you should have more time. Try lah at least one of these you jumpa more than one. That's better lah. Or at least macam ni tau. At least for strategic lah, katakanlah you jumpa 2. So yang pertama tu untuk strategic you identify, you evaluate and method to evaluate. Yang kedua tu you sempat identify je tapi tak sempat nak evaluate. Tak apa, at least you write something, then you have got marks there. Macam tu So nak katanya sebab you ada dah dipanggil, macam kalau financial statement tu you dah ada pro forma dia guys. SBL ni memanglah tak ada pro forma per se, kan, tak ada format dia tu, dia tak ada. Tetapi you yang kena create sendiri the structure, the pro forma, the exam approach that you will use in the exam. Itu yang kita kata model tu, kan. Cultural web, tapi itu semua model, itu semua structure, approach that you can use to answer exam question. Okay, so I have 10 minutes to go, but macam mana Okay, tengok mungkin I take few minutes just to read. Kita tak sempat discuss in full lah soalan ni, of course. Cuma I nak bagi you guidance. So maknanya sekarang ada 3 homework. So you will have to attempt nanti BTS, Daplan dengan YGT. Kan? So sebab cuti hari Cina kan 3 hari, Sabtu, Ahad dan Isnin. Sebab tu kita ambil 3. Barulah kena kan dengan keadaan tu. So but ala kulli hal, I just nak kata yang in the next 5 minutes or so, I just nak guide you in terms of how do you approach the question better. Kita cuba baca dulu soalan ni macam mana. Ada jelas supaya dapat gambaran jap. How do I actually erase this? Okay, clear all drawings. Okay, tengok Dia kata BTS company. Now you can identify and explain and then discuss method. Basically identify dengan explain tu guys, most likely you will get it from the scenario. Tapi you kena pandai paraphrase and add value to it lah. Dah bagi tahu kan. Method tu kena fikir sendiri lah. Right? Now, the BTS company manufactures and sells chairs and sofas for use in the sitting or living rooms of houses. So in your mind, you tahu dia adalah manufacturing company. The company's products are displayed on an internet site and orders received via this site only. Perkataan macam ni guys, dia macam bagi you hint dah bahawa mungkin ada problem nanti sebab dia rely on one method only, betul tak? Over reliance ni ataupun perkataan dia sole reliance on one thing bahaya. Macam kita kan, katakanlah bank card, IC, lesen pun semua boleh guna my card je. Bagus kan bawa satu kad je, tapi kalau satu kad tu hilang, habis semua hilang, betul tak? So itu that should trigger in your mind lah kan. Ada pros and cons dia. Order processing takes place on the company's in-house computer, bukan maknanya externally, along with inventory control and payment to suppliers. So site ini semua dia guna in-house computer systems. The computer systems are managed in-house juga with no external links other than internet for selling. So this should give you like, you know, macam very clear kan. You nampak over reliance on the internet or over reliance on just one system or in-house system. In other words, once a problem occurs in that, habis lah kita. Over reliance kan. Itu risk dia lah. Okay, yang kedua, production is carried out in BTS factory. Tadi apa tahu? Tadi dari segi order, dengan bayar dekat supplier, dengan inventory control juga. Ini yang you kena faham, dia panggil value chain tu. Boleh tak guys? Boleh tak you relate dengan apa yang kita telah belajar? Within the company, ada dari segi buat order, ada dari segi simpan barang, ada dari segi dekat sini tak ada lagi delivery. So you kena make sense of that. Sebab apa? Sebab the next paragraph dia nak cerita pasal another department of the company, which is called production, and it's carried out in BTS factory. Maknanya dia nak kata company ada factory dia sendiri. There is little automation. Ni hint juga ni. Dia kata little tu. Tak banyak guna komputer lah, IT kan. Sebab tu nanti next week kita belajar teknologi and data analytics. Itu about IT lah tu. And production is dependent on the knowledge of Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones. The production controller. Maknanya on orang. Orang ialah boleh meninggal atau boleh lari ke tempat lain kan. Boleh kerja, boleh keluar, boleh resign. Ataupun boleh sakit dan MC. So ada tak risk itu? Ada. Kan kalau komputer in general dia tak sakit kan. So anyone can access it. I'm just giving some ideas in terms of what risk may appear kan. Similarly, BTS rely on the Woody company for the supply of guys. Reminds you of Potter's Five Forces. Okay, of course this is not about competition lah. Cuma nak kata, again, over-reliance. Kalau Woody company has a problem, kalau Woody company wants to stop supplying to you, you lose 80% of the supply. Is that a good thing? It's not a good thing, right? So this is very clear. It's a, orang panggil apa? A source of risk kat situ. Okay, that's why dalam exam, tadi kawan you tanya kan, setiap satu tu S, tactical T dengan O, nak buat satu je ke more? Jawapan I again, starting point you buat satu. Kenapa tau? Sebab walaupun you jumpa banyak risk, you kena prioritize the best that you can explain in the exam. Sebab satu that will give you the most marks. Number one, kenapa you kena prioritize? You jumpa 100 risk, tak sempat nak tulis semua. So number one, you akan pilih yang mana yang paling you rasa confident to write. Number one, because that will give you the most marks. Number one. Number two, due to lack of time. Kalau tak ada lack of time, you tulislah 1000 risk pun. Sekarang maksudnya ada lack of time. So you have to prioritize. Okay, so habis lah. And then sama juga ni kena faham lah. BTS's supplier policy is to pay as late as possible. Kita bayar dekat supplier, lagi kita boleh delay, lagi kita delay. Kan, what will that do to, let's say, the relationship between you and the supplier contohnya. Ni kena faham ini kita dan supplier. Jangan salah faham pula. Sebab kalau dalam konteks kita dengan customer kita anggap kita supplier, betul tak? Tapi dalam konteks ni bukan kita dengan customer ni, kita dengan supplier kita. So kena faham. Providing little information on future production requirement. Lagi kan, tiba-tiba ada contoh ada order mengejut. Order mengejut. Kita tak pernah pun care about future production requirements. So akan ada perhaps dia panggil apa? Stock out punya risk, betul tak? Okay, we have 2 minutes. Now, other raw materials purchased include fabrics for chair and sofa covers. However, a minority of sales orders are lost because the correct fabric is not available for the customer. The main reason for these stockouts appears to be that the procurement manager forgets to order the fabric when inventory levels are low. Okay, so ini you ada human factor and so on. Cuma I nak beritahu something, cuba catat juga sebab again you guys are going to do this question on your own. Okay, tetapi I bagi you satu idea, satu assistance for you to answer this question better. When you talk about risk, dengar betul-betul ambil yang ni, take note. You either talk about risk based on what had already took place or taken place in the past. Dah pernah berlaku, procurement manager tu dia terlupa. Ada kebarangkalian tak dia berlaku lagi pada masa depan? Ada. So you identify risk tu based on apa yang pernah berlaku. Number one. Number two, logically speaking, even benda tu tak pernah berlaku, tapi dia possible untuk berlaku, that's another area of possibility of risk. Nampak cara berfikir tu, you figure out different points that you can come up with. Sama ada pernah berlaku ataupun tak pernah berlaku pun, cuma dia mungkin boleh berlaku, logically speaking. Okay, and then lastly you read on your own lah. Oh yeah, maybe one last comment. If we have 1 minute. Window ni bukan maksud tingkap. Window ni simply means that dia delivery ni dia ambil masa 2 jam. Dia janjilah kan offer dia untuk deliver lah. But kalau you baca memang most of them ataupun 45% tak only 55 yang 45% dia tak capai ni. Okay. And then perhaps I will record another video offline and nanti I share dengan you lah, because there is another important aspect of exam approach yang I nak share with you, but not today lah. So, and also if you have question, you can ask in the group nanti. Let me now end with Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-Asr. And I apologize for any, the very rush class that we have and anything that I miss kan. Nanti kita catch up dalam group lah. And next week. Thank you guys. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Asri inna Tawassaw bis-sabr. Okay, sorry because this is a Zoom limit.